Hello and welcome to Alicia Moose Knitting, where we talk about our knitting, crochet, spinning, and weaving. This is episode 13, and today I have with me Gwendolyn. I am wearing my Caron knit drop stitch tee in the Caron Colorama Lacy in the colorway Aloe. This was a finished object last week. I talked about maybe trying to do something to tighten up the neckline, but decided that since it had drop stitches and was such an open gauge that I was going to have to wear a tank top or something underneath it anyways, and I decided to leave the neck as it was. We did try and film a little reel and take some pictures, so we'll see if we can put some of those in now, but I'll try and stand up and show you the whole rest of it.
Because I'm not only the editor, but also the photographer.
Yes, Gwendolyn does all of our editing and photography. I'm very grateful to have her doing this for me. All right, here we go. So it's a nice length to wear with pants. To wear with some skirts, it might be a little bit on the longer side. But as I was saying last week, you actually start at the back, at the bottom, and knit up and over the shoulders, and then down to the front, and then seam it all together. And with the drop stitches, it's a little hard to tell how it's going to block out or exactly what length it's going to end up. So while I did follow the measurements in the pattern, I'm not sure if this ended up exactly the length it was supposed to or not, because for the dimensions, it really only had the circumference. I don't even know that it had arm dimensions. And I changed the directions for that slightly so that my drop stitches would line up on the sides. Gwendolyn today is wearing a blanket. It's a crochet granny square blanket. Most of the squares were done using opal minis that I got from Purple Circle Yarns on Etsy. She winds opal minis and sells them on her Etsy site. And I decided a couple of years ago to do that as instead of buying an advent calendar. She also has an advent calendar. But I bought a couple of sets of mini skeins. I think I bought 2 sets of 20 in the 10-gram minis. So I had just a little bit extra from the square, and after I made the blanket, decided I wanted it a little bit wider, so I took some scraps and added 2 more rows, and then joined them all together with the join as you go method with the gray. Unfortunately, I don't know where the gray came from, but so that's what we are wearing today. I know last week I showed you that I started a whole lot of new projects, but I have not worked on most of them this week. Instead, I went back to working on my Bienvenidas cardigan by Vera Sanon, and I'm using a red cotton yarn that I got at a craft restore, so where people had brought in old craft supplies and bought them. So it's a giant cone of cotton yarn. So this cardigan is actually knit with overlapping fronts, and you put snaps at the top. So I was able to get about 3 inches done this week, which I consider an accomplishment because this is actually knit on a US 3 at 3.25 millimeter needle. So I'm using my interchangeable chow goose for this project. They work really well with the fine yarn. So if it was in the round, it would be going a lot faster, but considering every other row is purling, it slows me down a little bit. And the only other project I've worked on this week are some socks for my husband. I'm using the Patons Kroy Socks FX in the colorway Clover Colors. That's the label for you. So I was able to get about 70 rows done. Last time I had just completed the toe. So we've done most of that. I'm going to be doing an afterthought heel for these socks, just to keep them simple and easy as a nice carry around in your purse kind of project. Gwendolyn, what are you working on today?
I am working on my skirt. So I got that much done.
Got that much done this week, right?
Yep, this week.
It's a little over an inch.
Yep.
So, and Gwendolyn is using the Yarnspirations Caron Jumbo in the colorway Garden Grows.
Jumbo.
She is using a US 8 5mm. So it does fit over her head and could pull down and be a cowl. So there is some debate as to whether it will stop being a scarf and become a cowl. Though I guess we could do some decreases and you could just roll up the bottom and it could be a hat too.
No, it's my scarf.
Oh, it's still going to be a scarf.
It's my scarf.
So slowly but surely it's moving along. Knitting is not a fast craft. And
it's as fast as you, Mom.
Well, I've had a lot more years of practice.
Yeah, like 20.
Actually, more than that.
It's a lot of years.
Yeah, a lot of years. So thank you so much for joining us today. And we look forward to seeing you next time, where hopefully we will have made some progress on our projects.
Bye. Bye.